Because I heard he could really play.
No. He can't even be Shakur.
He can't
So you.
What Shakur lied to you?
You lost. I seen the videos.
You ain't seen my video.
Oh, I didn't.
Exactly.
I just seen the videos.
Exactly. What would happen? Exactly.
Boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And yeah, he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done, so it's not marketable. But he can't do that because Shakur is world champion.
Terence Crawford just dropped a bombshell that's got the entire boxing world talking. And what he said about Shakur Stevenson is absolutely wild. We're not just talking casual praise here. Crawford straight up confronted Devin Haney about avoiding Stevenson, then went on record saying that anyone who underestimates Shakur is walking into a career-ending mistake. And here's the kicker, this isn't coming from some random analyst or Twitter expert. This is Terence Crawford, pound-for-pound king, telling you that there's a fighter out there so dangerous that elite boxers are literally scared to face him. Crawford didn't mince words either. He said Stevenson's defense is so elite, so suffocating, that it makes him extremely dangerous in ways most fans don't even understand yet.
See your little brother, you know what I'm saying, Shakur, that's the fight. Everybody want to see that. That's the 50-50, I think, you know what I'm saying? I've been saying 50-50. I told both of them that. That's a toss-up to me. No bias. Don't just say that because you're a man. Who you got winning that?
I got Shakur. People may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fight.
But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Crawford revealed that multiple fighters, including Haney himself, are straight up hesitant to step in the ring with Stevenson. Think about that for a second. We're talking about Devin Haney, an undefeated champion who's faced elite competition, and according to Crawford, even he's having second thoughts about this matchup. Crawford described Stevenson as a daunting opponent, not just tough, not just skilled, but daunting. That's the kind of word you use when you're talking about someone who breaks fighters mentally before they even throw a punch. And you know what's wild? This isn't trash talk or hype building. Crawford has nothing to gain from saying this. He's just telling the truth about what he sees behind the scenes, and apparently what he sees is a bunch of elite fighters who want no part of Shakur Stevenson.
We're here for your little brother this week, in Shakur Stevenson. I've interviewed both of you for years, and you really have kind of built a relationship that a lot of people know about. Some people maybe don't. How good is Shakur Stevenson in your opinion?
He's not good, he's great. And I think tomorrow the world will take notice of how great he is. There's a reason why certain fighters didn't want to take the chance to step in the ring with this fighter. He's great. A lot of people started saying, oh, he's a runner, he's this, he's that. Just to detour people from being excited to see him fight because he's not knocking people out and all that crazy stuff. But they would see why people really don't want to get in the ring with him come tomorrow.
I know you've shared the ring with him, sparring plenty of times. What makes Shakur Stevenson great? What makes him different? What makes him, I don't want to say an ilk of yourself, but in the same kind of era, the Bud Crawford era, he's got a Shakur Stevenson era.
Everything. The offense, the defense, the poise, the rhythm, the distance, the timing, the punch placement, the react time. Like, I can go on and on. You know, the toughness, the grit, the grind. Like, he's amazing. You know, and tomorrow he will show it.
How do you think it ends tomorrow night? Do you believe that Shakur Stevenson can stop Teofimo Lopez? Because people aren't really talking about that.
Listen, if T.O. get out of line, you know, he can get hurt. You know, but I see Shakur outboxing him to a decision, a unanimous decision.
Now listen to this part because Crawford didn't stop there. He went full professor mode breaking down exactly why Stevenson is so special. Crawford praised his strategic mind, his technical skill, and his boxing intelligence, saying Stevenson combines sharp tactics with precise execution in ways that make him formidable and highly respected throughout the entire sport. But here's what Crawford is really saying between the lines. Stevenson isn't just talented, he's chess master level intelligent. Crawford talked about how Stevenson adjusts to different styles mid-fight, something that separates good fighters from great ones. Even when fans criticize Stevenson's defensive style, calling it boring or too safe, Crawford came to his defense with a philosophy that should shut everyone up. Boxing is about hitting without getting hit. That's Muhammad Ali-level wisdom right there, and Crawford is saying Stevenson has mastered it better than almost anyone in the sport today.
When I'm in there with Shakur, you know, it's a chess match, you know, because Shakur is a thinking man as well. So it's definitely a chess match, and you know, that's something that, you know, I love, he loved, because now we got to be creative. We got to be, you know, we got to go in that bag and be like, man, I can't do this with him because it's not gonna work. So now I got to get more creative to get a little advantage over.
And get this, Devin Haney finally responded, and his answer is either the most confident thing you'll hear all year or complete desperation. Haney confidently declared that he will definitely fight Shakur Stevenson, emphasizing that the bout is too significant to pass up financially. He highlighted the massive money involved and noted that fans are demanding this matchup like nothing else in boxing right now. But here's what's interesting about Haney's response. He's talking about everything except actually beating Stevenson. He's talking about money, he's talking about fan demand, he's talking about significance. You know what he's not talking about? His game plan, his strategy, how he plans to deal with that elite defense Crawford warned everyone about. That tells you everything you need to know about where Haney's head is at right now.
Competitive. Neither one of us want to let the other one get anything off. So, you know, that's probably what he...
Hold up, because during a recent podcast appearance, we got to see Stevenson and Crawford interact directly, and what happened was fascinating. They briefly discussed Devin Haney, focusing on respect, competition, and career perspective, with Shakur emphasizing that he would fight whoever is put in front of him, including top-tier opponents like Haney. But pay attention to Stevenson's energy here. There's no desperation, no begging for the fight, no trash talk, just calm confidence. He's basically saying, put anyone in front of me and I'll handle business. That's the kind of quiet confidence that comes from knowing your level's above everyone else. Meanwhile, Haney's out here making public declarations about definitely fighting Stevenson, while Stevenson is just sitting back like, whenever you're ready. The contrast is telling, and it's exactly what Crawford was talking about when he said fighters find Stevenson daunting.
A name without saying Shakur to your female tank, right? It just is what it is. Is that fight going to ever happen? Would it ever happen against you and Shakur?
100%, yeah. I think so. I think it.
You think Shakur will grow into whatever weight you're in?
I mean, all of us is close to the same size. You know, we're all growing together. We're all like, you know, getting bigger. Well, so, and it's only so many guys, like y'all said. It's only so many guys that we could make big money and people want to see the fights. Which, even though I know that they making new guys, it's guys like Kermel, Abdullah, all these guys want to come up too. So eventually they gonna be there too. But yeah, no, I think that a fight with Shakur is very much possible. We tried to make it happen a while back, but you never know. I think that it.
But here's where everything gets complicated, and this is where the real story starts. Negotiations between elite fighters are notoriously complex, involving purse splits, broadcasting rights, promotional politics, and management's appetite for risk versus reward. Stevenson himself has been open about only pursuing fights that match his financial and career goals, which explains why the Haney fight isn't official yet. Some observers argue that negotiations have stalled not because either fighter is afraid, but because both camps want favorable deals. And honestly, that makes perfect sense for big fights like this. But here's what nobody's talking about: Crawford Stevenson holds all the leverage right now. He's the one everyone's scared of, according to Crawford. He's the one with the elite defense that makes him extremely dangerous. He's the one Stevenson's Mayweather has been praising for years. So why would he take anything less than exactly what he wants? The delay isn't about fear. It's about power, and right now, Shakur Stevenson has all of it.
I try to be real careful on what I say.
True. This has got Jay on Twitter. He a big Haney fan. He be always clipping and changing stuff, Jay.
Yeah, they gonna make a narrative as if like I'm scared of. I think Devin's a tremendous fighter. Do I think Devin Haney can beat me? Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm on a different level than everybody.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to boxing, because Devin, He's a boxer. It's not like he's a fucking stone cold killer who's just gonna go in there and try to knock me the fuck out.
Yeah.
He's gonna outbox me. I'm the greatest boxer. How do you...
Now here's something that'll blow your mind. Crawford's relationship with Stevenson goes way deeper than casual commentary. Over the years, Crawford has repeatedly praised Stevenson's technical ability and boxing intelligence, even stating that Floyd is special for how he adjusts to different styles mid-fight. This isn't new praise. Mayweather has been studying Stevenson for years, watching him develop, and what he's seeing is apparently so impressive that he felt compelled to warn the entire boxing world about it. Crawford even defended Stevenson against fans who criticize his more defensive, cerebral style. Think about that. The pound-for-pound king is out here defending another fighter's style because he understands something casual fans don't, that what Stevenson does in the ring is pure artistry. Crawford argued that boxing is about hitting without getting hit, a philosophy famously associated with legends like Muhammad Ali. When Crawford puts Stevenson in that category, you better pay attention.
Shakur, ain't nobody beat Shakur. I'm saying Shakur beat everybody. It don't matter who it is, Shakur beating them, so it don't matter. Shakur over everybody. And that's how it's gonna be. Man, that boy's special. That boy's special, man. Shakur.
And speaking of legends recognizing greatness, Floyd Mayweather's praise of Shakur Stevenson is absolutely mind-blowing. Mayweather has publicly complimented Stevenson on several occasions, particularly highlighting his technique and ring intelligence. While Mayweather has never literally stated that Stevenson is the best fighter in his division, he has consistently pointed to Stevenson's superior skill set compared to everyone else in the weight range. Here's where it gets really interesting. Mayweather described Gervonta Tank Davis as the biggest puncher in the division, but identified Stevenson as the more polished and technically refined boxer. In other words, Davis brings explosive power, but Stevenson represents precision, defense, and high-level boxing fundamentals, the exact qualities Mayweather built his own legendary career around. Mayweather's respect for Stevenson goes back years too. When Stevenson was still a young prospect, Mayweather reportedly told him that he saw special potential in him, and even suggested that if anyone had the ability to challenge or surpass some of his records, Stevenson could be that fighter. Coming from Floyd Mayweather, that's not just praise, that's prophecy.
You know what I mean? He adapt to every fighter, and then once he adapt to you, it's
But wait, it gets even crazier. Devin Haney is determined to prove he belongs among boxing's true elite, and he understands that legacy is built by facing the toughest opponents available. Rather than protecting his record, Haney has openly shown interest in challenging top fighters, especially Shakur Stevenson in a matchup many fans believe would define this era of boxing. The fight represents more than just titles. It's about respect, pride, and establishing who is the most complete boxer of this generation. Haney believes that beating a highly skilled and undefeated fighter like Stevenson would silence critics who question his greatness. And he's probably right about that. But here's the thing, believing you can do something and actually doing it are two completely different things. The bout carries massive financial value and global attention, making it one of the most anticipated contests in modern boxing. Even other fighters continue calling for major bouts with Haney, showing his status as a central figure in the division. But all of that means nothing if he can't solve the puzzle that is Shakur Stevenson's defense.
You got guys fighting between 130, 135, and 140. They stack, around that area. So, I mean, as of right now,
skills that pay the bills.
Well, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel, at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
And what is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. And Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out.
Here's the kicker, though talk surrounding this fight continues to grow, but major obstacles still stand in the way of making it reality. Even so, both fighters remain in peak form, repeatedly showing the discipline, preparation, and technical ability that make them extremely difficult to beat. Their recent performances and undefeated records underline their consistency and professionalism at the highest level of the sport. Haney has openly addressed Stevenson, making it clear he's willing to step into the ring with him. His comments reflect confidence and a desire to take on meaningful challenges that could shape his legacy, while also recognizing Stevenson as a serious and dangerous competitor. But here's what's fascinating. Despite all this public back and forth, despite all the fan demand, despite all the money on the table, this fight still isn't signed. And that tells you everything about how complex these negotiations really are, and how much both camps understand what's at stake.
Yeah, you know, if I can't get those fights next, or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135. We'll just see, though. I got to go back and talk with the team and see what makes the most sense. That's really.
And get this, Shakur Stevenson has responded to Haney's remarks, making it clear he's fully aware of the conversation and open to the possibility of a future showdown. His reaction suggests he's not avoiding the matchup, but instead waiting for the right moment when it makes sense competitively and financially. The back and forth between the two fighters reflects a level of mutual respect, while also revealing the tactical thinking that shapes major fights. Their exchanges underline how elite boxing isn't only about skill inside the ring, but also about timing, negotiations, and long-term career strategy. Both fighters appear attentive and prepared, carefully weighing risks and rewards before committing. But here's what stands out. Stevenson's responses are measured, calculated, almost clinical. There's no desperation, no emotional reactions, just pure business. That's the mark of someone who knows they hold all the cards and can afford to wait for exactly the right deal.
Ain't he gonna concede to that? I doubt it. So there's a major obstacle in the way. But nonetheless, as you watch these two fighters fight, you can clearly see, outside of cheating, they're more than likely not going to lose, right? With that said, Devin Haney immediately responds to Shakur. Shakur responds to Devin, right? Again, we had the initial four kings. It was Devin, Ryan, T.O., and Tank Davis, right? It was supposed to be the Four Kings 2.0, from the Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearn, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto.
Now listen to this, because we just got proof of exactly why everyone should be terrified of Shakur Stevenson. He put on a commanding display in his recent fight with Teofimo Lopez, and trainer Bozy and he's emphasized how truly impressive the performance was. What stood out most was that Stevenson appeared to box for long stretches almost as if he only had one fully active hand, yet he still controlled the fight with absolute ease. His jab was crisp, accurate, and constantly in Lopez's face, allowing Shakur to dictate the distance and tempo from start to finish. Every movement Stevenson made had a clear purpose. His footwork, timing, and defensive awareness showed a level of discipline and ring IQ that completely neutralized Lopez's athleticism and aggression. Some critics had long argued that Stevenson lacked a strong resume and hadn't faced elite opposition, but this fight shifted that narrative completely. He didn't just beat Lopez, he made it look effortless while fighting with essentially one hand.
This plenty of times. I asked him, do you feel like you're Wilfred Benitez? Because we had that Four King era, but nobody mentions Wilfred Benitez. And the fact remains is Wilfred Benitez beat Roberto Duran as well. And Roberto Duran is 1-4 against those guys. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard the first time. Outside of that, Roberto Duran, he lost. He quit against Sugar Ray Leonard. He got knocked out brutally by Tommy Hearns. He got outboxed by Marvin Hagler and outclassed by Wilfred Benitez. Right? But he's overshadowing Wilfred Benitez. And I felt like these guys, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank, and T.O., overshadowed Shakur Stevenson. And now Shakur Stevenson has shined the light by dominating Teofimo Lopez.
But here's the absolutely insane part. Despite dealing with a slightly injured left hand, Shakur Stevenson stayed firmly in control of the fight from start to finish. He relied heavily on his jab, pumping it out consistently while using the left hand only occasionally due to discomfort. Ennis noted that Stevenson could likely have pushed for a stoppage if he truly wanted to, but instead he fought intelligently, choosing control and precision over unnecessary risk. Think about what that means. Stevenson was so dominant, so in control, that he could have ended the fight whenever he wanted but chose not to because he didn't need to take that risk. The performance highlighted more than just technical ability. Stevenson showed ring IQ, patience, and composure under pressure that few fighters possess. He adjusted his approach, protected the injury, and still outclassed his opponent with timing, footwork, and defensive awareness. Viewers and fans everywhere witnessed a technical showcase that reinforced his standing among boxing's elite fighters. This is exactly what Crawford was warning everyone about.
I see greatness, man. I see greatness. Shakur practically beat him with one hand, man. That jab, man. Most important hand you have, man. You know? And he looked good doing it, sharp. You know what I mean? Distance. He did everything, man. He did everything right, man.
A lot of people thought it would be a tough fight because Teo's athletic, Teo's experienced, he's fought on a high level. And, you know, they were critical of Shakur. Oh, he ain't fought nobody and this and that.
Yeah.
He made Teo look like everybody else.
Made him look like an amateur. Made him look like an amateur. Yes.
Now, technically, what did you see? Right? Where did Teo go wrong in that fight?
Where he went wrong?
Yeah.
Fighting Shakur. That's where he went wrong. Fighting Shakur. I knew he just running his mouth. He just was talking, man. I knew that from the beginning, even the time when he...
Here's why this potential fight between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney has become the most talked about matchup in boxing. Fans are eager to see it because both fighters are highly skilled, fast, and extremely disciplined inside the ring, but their styles create a fascinating contrast. Stevenson is known for his defensive technique and sharp accuracy, while Haney relies on timing, footwork, and smart combinations. Their contrasting approaches make the contest nearly impossible to predict, which only increases the excitement among supporters and analysts who continue comparing their previous performances. Every exchange could shift momentum, and even small mistakes might decide the outcome. The bout would carry major stakes including pride, rankings, and long-term legacy implications. But here's what makes this fight so compelling. It's not just about who wins. It's about whether Haney can solve the puzzle that is Stevenson's defense, or whether Stevenson will make Haney look ordinary like he did to Lopez. Based on what Crawford said, based on what Mayweather has observed, based on what we saw against Lopez, this might not be as competitive as people think.
Yeah, Shakur knows he could have got stopped too, but Shakur hurt his left hand. His left hand was hurt. If you notice, he was using that jab a lot.
Yeah, jab and then the hook.
And he threw the left hand every now and then. Because I was screaming out. Everybody said they heard me in Philly.
Yo, we can hear you on the TV.
Yeah, that's my young buck. You know what I mean? And I was telling him, throw that straight left hand. Then I noticed when he did throw it, he wasn't throwing it real hard. You know what I mean?
So there you have it. Terence Crawford just put the entire boxing world on notice about Shakur Stevenson, revealing that elite fighters including Devin Haney are hesitant to face him because of his suffocating defense and elite boxing intelligence. Meanwhile, legends like Floyd Mayweather have been predicting Stevenson's greatness for years, and we just watched him dominate Teofimo Lopez while essentially fighting with one hand. This isn't just about one potential fight anymore. This is about a generational talent who might be levels above everyone else in his division, and whether anyone has the skills and courage to truly test him. The question isn't whether Haney will fight Stevenson, the question is whether he can survive what Crawford warned him about. So here's my question for you. Drop it in the comments and let me know. Do you think Devin Haney actually has what it takes to beat Shakur Stevenson? Or is Crawford right that anyone who underestimates Stevenson is walking into a career-ending mistake? If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's really happening in boxing right now, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because this story is just getting started and you don't want to miss what happens next.
Tackler, man. You know, you can't ask for nothing more, man. And with me, I don't care about what people say, man. They always want to talk about you and say, oh, he should have did this, should have did that. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he did it right.
So it's like maybe something that Devin can definitely go out up there with ease, only need to deal with the size, but he's probably gonna have the speed advantage because he's a smaller guy coming up. So, I mean, you tell me, do you feel like that's gonna be harder than the Lomachenko fight?
No. I think Loma probably be his hardest top 2 or 3 fights in his whole career. I could predict that even going to the end, you know, to say if Devin fight 8, 9, 10 more years, that'd be one of his top 2 or 3 hardest fights because the age that he fought him. Loma was at his very peak. He was at his peak. He was older. He was right there at his top peak.